You know what, guys? Honestly, I don't even need to watch movies anymore. Trump's Oval Office meetings with world leaders alone is entertainment enough, because yet again, with Zelensky flashbacks,
you don't have the cards right now.
The world has been left stunned at what we just witnessed yesterday.
The Boer, the farmer.
I don't know how it can get any worse.
I mean, I guess we all kind of knew that it was going to be a little bit tense because Ramaphosa and Donald Trump have been beefing online for a little bit now. But what no one expected was for Donald Trump to ambush Ramaphosa with videos, a compilation of videos, and a stack of news articles.
Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you.
And we sure as hell didn't expect Elon Musk to watch on in silence. I mean, look at this. Look at how quickly his laugh disappears. That Loki, that's kind of scary. That smile disappeared with some Kanye speed.
As a joke, and he would then share it with you. And this is a part.
So, what the hell happened? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that is exactly what we're diving in today. So, subscribe to the channel to join the empire, and let's stop the yapping, and let's get cracking! Now, the pressure leading up to this meeting has been building for years. Not many people know this, but Trump first commented on farm murders in South Africa during his first term in this 2018 tweet. It read, "I have asked the Secretary of State to closely study the South Africa land and farm seizures and expropriations and the large-scale killing of farmers." And back then, I guess similar to now, the South African government dismissed Trump's claims, saying, "South Africa totally rejects the narrow perception which only seeks to divide our nation and reminds us of our colonial pasts." Hashtag land expropriation at real Donald Trump at presidency ZA. Now, fast forward 7 years, Trump has not let it go. In fact, he's doubled down to the point where he has cut aid to South Africa, continuously is calling out the alleged government land grabs and white genocide. And of course, by far the most controversial one, fast-tracking that white Afrikaner refugee program. Now, all of these have been hugely controversial in both America and South Africa. So finally, when the two heads of these nations met face-to-face, what was supposed to be in a pretty brief bilateral meeting turned into an over hour-long debate.
That scene, you see how many crosses they have. Those crosses, that's a dead person in every one of them.
We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions.
Death, 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 horrible death, death.
We have too many deaths, but it's across the board.
These are all people that recently got killed. Yeah. I don't know how it can get any worse.
Now, to be fair though, it did start off pretty good. You know, there's a bit of jokes here and there, some pleasantries. Trump said that Ramaphosa was extremely respected in some circles, but in others, not so much. But then, you know, he laughed that off and they said, like us all, like us all. Trump even cracked a joke saying that Ramaphosa called him and he said, "I don't know where he got my number."
I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up.
Point is, all good stuff. They then started taking questions from the press. Trump lashed out at a few of them, you know, nothing out of character.
It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you know, you're a terrible reporter. And you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead.
But things started to take a pretty serious turn when a South African reporter asked Trump,
"What does it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?"
But before he could answer that, Ramaphosa, who was actually Mandela's chief negotiator, quickly jumped in and said that he could answer that for the president.
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Now, this is the point where we got that reaction from Elon watching on in silence. And yeah, he laughs out, but then turns to serious real quick. Pretty sure there was a few eyebrow wiggles in there. Anyway, point is, Ramaphosa said that it was going to take a Trump actually listening to the voices of South Africans themselves.
Listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But how Trump responded to that kind of shocked everyone. I don't think anyone was expecting this apart from them, because they planned something. He asked for the room's lights to be dimmed and for everyone to watch what he prepared on the screen.
Turn the lights down and just put this on. It's right behind you.
What We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do.
Now, what followed was a compilation of videos, but most notably, one of them from Julius Malema, who is a political leader in South Africa of the EFF. And in this, he is singing a struggle song with this huge, crowd chanting, "Kill the Boer, kill the white farmer."
Kill the Boer, the farmer. Kill the Boer, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa. Brr, pa.
Now, this song does have a long history and quite a bit of context to it. It originated during apartheid, but regardless, it made its point. And Trump said directly to Ramaphosa, if this song was sung in America, the people singing it would be arrested. And it didn't seem that Ramaphosa disagreed with this, because he said our government policy is completely against what he is saying. We're talking about Malema. And he explained that Malema's party is a small fringe group with no influence on government policy. Now, while it is true that they don't have influence on policy, the EFF does currently rank as the 4th largest party in the National Assembly. Now, some of the other videos shown by Trump was what he claimed to be this mass burial site of over 1,000 farmers. He claimed that each of these white crosses represents a white farmer that had been killed. Now, while it is true that it does represent white farmers who have been killed, it's for 2 of them, not for over 1,000. Now, this is actually for Glenn and Vida Rafferty. They were murdered in 2020, and the footage shows these white crosses along this South African highway, and it was actually created as a tribute organized by local residents to raise awareness for farm killings in the area. So while the number of how many killed were incorrect, it still has the same core message. But either way, Trump wasn't done. He then brought out something else that he prepared, this stack of news articles about farm murders. And I see Daily Mail in there, so immediately it's not true. I'm joking. Sorry, not bringing my personal wars and battles into this. Now, in all seriousness, I did actually do a full video on this topic on my TikTok, and upon researching for that video, it is in fact verifiable that there are indeed farm attacks in South Africa and white farmers that are being killed. Data from civil rights organizations like AfriForum and Tau SA clearly show that, but the ultimate question is whether the amount or the number or the way that it's being done constitutes genocide or even just a widespread racially motivated killings. That is the part that's contended, because he often uses the words white genocide and widespread killings. So as they start getting into the weeds of all of this, it's at this point where other South African leaders that they brought along, including the country's richest billionaire, he came along, and 2 professional top golfers that Trump, in fact, he requested them to join. Well, they started all joining in on the debate as well.
My dad was a property developer as well as a part-time farmer. Some of these buddy farmers got killed. They're trying to burn the farms down to chase you away. So it is a concern to try and make a living as a farmer.
Now, of course, as we mentioned, Elon Musk was there as well, but I didn't see a point where he said a word. Maybe it wasn't his place, but it's kind of unusual because he has been so outspoken online about this topic for months now. In fact, there was even that story where XAI on Twitter, on X, it was just putting in the fact that white genocide was a thing in completely unrelated questions. They addressed it and they said, it was a fault on the coder's part, someone at X, and then they fixed it. But all of this is I would have thought that Elon Musk would have spoken about it. In fact, generally, we haven't really heard a lot from him. After the whole Tesla thing and the Tesla attack started going crazy, we haven't seen a lot from him. But in essence about this whole meeting, South Africa is arguing that the country is facing a general crime problem, not one that is solely directed at white people. Trump, on the other hand, ironically, despite listening to the voices of South Africans like Ramaphosa recommended, well, that didn't do the job for him. He still disagrees. Silver linings, though, it didn't end like Zelensky's meeting.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Ramaphosa didn't get sent home, but rather he went to lunch with Trump, which he described as rather pleasant. And he said that they discussed matters such as golf, trade, and investments. Ramaphosa called the visit a great success. So yeah, I mean, even though it might have ended on high notes, I don't think this is going to be the last of this whole story that we're going to hear about. But what do you guys think? Who was in the wrong? Who was in the right? Maybe both of them at times. Either way, I'd love to know what you guys think. Hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Woo!